Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over how to get some really decent macro shots without having to buy an expensive fancy macro lens. Up to this point, the way that I've been getting macro photography is with a diopter. This isn't even a real diopter, this is just a 52mm magnifying glass that I put in an old UV filter, and not even a good one. But the problem with this is that it isn't really meant for true optical purposes, it's just a magnifying glass. So it is not going to be as good as an actual diopter that you would buy for lenses. So what I have here are two vintage lenses. They're both Takumar lenses. And then for me, I'm using a Sony A7, so I have an E-mount adapter. But the thing that allows me to just take these two lenses and get macro photography out of it is this. This is the lens hood that came with this 135mm lens, and it's got a fancy trick. The way that it works is just by simply screwing it on the front of the lens, and that's a 49mm screw. But for storage, it also has a male 49mm thread on this side, which means I can take this lens and mount it up like this. So now I have two lenses mounted front to front. Then I just put the M42 to E-mount adapter on this side. And now I will show you what kind of shots you can get with this admittedly semi-janky setup. Alright, so here I will start off with just an American $1 bill, because a lot of people should be familiar, at least most of my audience should be familiar with what one of these looks like. And the depth of field on this is incredibly small. So the quality here depends on the steadiness of my hand, but I'll do some stills in just a minute. But as you can see, the detail here is really good. So here is a ruler, and these lines here are 1/100th of an inch apart. Hundredths. So I'll do a couple stills and then you can see how those look. I think this is an awesome way to get macro photography if you do not have a macro lens. So hopefully you found that somewhat interesting. Another way around this, if you don't want to use these exact lenses or get a lens hood that has a thread on both ends, is to try and find an adapter that is male on both ends from whatever two lenses you happen to be using. Because this is kind of a modification of the trick where you can just take any old lens and hold it up to your camera body backwards. This is better because you're not holding something up to your camera body. You're letting the rigid mounting system take care of that for you, and you can therefore get better quality images. And it's just more convenient than trying to hold the lens up to the camera body. It might be a little more expensive than just flipping a lens around, but I think in a lot of cases it'd be cheaper than getting a macro lens. Especially if you already have some lenses sitting around that you could do this to. The cost is really only in a male-to-male adapter, you know, just basically a threaded ring. So until next time, see ya.